Oh, that was weird.
I know. Hi. I heard you say hi.
I said, "Hi," and then it was like, "Oh, that's
Oh
okay,
no. Yeah, I heard it in the background. I said,
girl.
ooh,
It's alright.
eerie. That's
This is
okay.
live. This is live.
Hi.
Hi."
Ooh. I know, back for another Sunday, you guys. Consistency.
I know. That's what we're working on.
Consistency. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, good, good.
How
How
you
you feeling?
doing?
Oh. Okay, so what are we talking about for drinks? Oh, wait, we should start
Oh,
off.
okay, yes, let's start off with the drinks. Okay, so you guys know, we have to just repeat, honestly, because
Oh, we got a
this
Corey. Hey,
episode
Corey.
oh, hey, Corey. This episode was still going to be keeping the theme going with psychological thrillers.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
we just kept it really dark with Black Sea. Can't go wrong, and it's one of our favorites. Black
Yes.
Sea mugs. Ooh.
Ooh, matching mugs. Yeah, look, in
Yeah,
black mugs to match
hard,
the
hard.
theme.
Ooh, the movies this week were exciting. Oh, I enjoyed them. I hadn't seen your pick, Meka, Midnight, so
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
very fun. Oh my gosh, it was stressing me to my core
I
watching that film.
know. All and it was killing Kira because all I kept hearing was like, "What's happening? What's going to happen?"
Oh my god, Edge of Your Seat, Edge of Your Seat. I will say quite enjoyable for sure. And then
Okay.
of course my pick is an oldie, not an oldie, but one that I've seen before, of course, that we my pick. And
Oh
so we'll do
yes,
that.
and we'll go right into it. So we can start with my pick first.
Okay, yes, do it.
Okay, so my pick is the 2021 film Midnight.
Oh, so good.
So good. And basically, to summarize this movie, it follows a young deaf woman and her mother. They're
Oh,
basically.
Mika, her mother's also deaf.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Both the mother and our protagonist and her mother are both deaf, and it follows them. They stumble upon our main characters stumble upon a serial killer like in the midst of a crime, and it's just her fighting for her life this whole movie from this mass killer all throughout the. It's in Korea, so I think it's Seoul, like where they're going.
Yeah, we assuming, yeah.
I'm assuming, but yeah, he's just chasing her all throughout the city. So that's my pick. So my pick is the 2021 film Midnight. And then let's see, Kira's pick. You didn't mention it yet, though.
Oh no, I didn't. Okay, so yes, my pick is Hush, the
Mhm.
2016 film. Oh my gosh, starring the beautiful, exceptional Kate Siegel, director by the one and only Mike Flanagan. So this film finds our main protagonist, our female protagonist, who is also deaf, a deaf
Mhm.
writer who resides and lives in the middle of the woods. And she's working on a novel, a crime novel. I believe it was a crime novel, yes.
Oh yeah, because if anyone's who are Flanagan fans, her previous book was Midnight Mass, right? She's working on it's like a little throwbacks. Yeah.
Ah, yes, thank you, Mika. And yes, we find her living in the middle of the woods, and again, she also has to fight for her life to survive a semi-mass. I mean, he reveals himself later in the film,
Yeah.
fighting for her life. Yes.
Oh, hold on, I got a comments. I don't want to pay attention to the comments. Corey said both are so good. Oh, great! I knew Corey saw Hush. I didn't know if you saw Midnight, Corey.
Oh yes, I enjoyed both. And Corey, Midnight was the first watch for me as well.
Hmm.
So of course we had to pair the two.
Oh yes, and let me. I want to go back too because I totally forgot to say who and I might butcher the names, you guys.
You're
I'm
gonna do the
trying for the
best you
cast.
can.
Yes, but the cast it stars Jin Kaiju. I think I did that correctly. And the
Yeah, that's
film is
yeah.
the film is directed by Kwon Osung.
No, that sounded good.
Okay. So let's get right into it because we wanted to get right into the themes for both movies and why we selected them as a double feature for a good movie night.
Oh yes, yes, yes. So let's jump into it. And I think that right off the bat, if you guys heard in the description of both films, the unique piece that we kind of highlighted initially was that our protagonists are deaf characters.
Hmm.
And this was actually so unique. I think it actually added to the tension
Hmm.
and made the films that much more horrifying in my opinion, just
Hmm.
because like our protagonists are already working in overload just based off of being without one of the senses we take for granted, which is our hearing.
Mhm. Yeah, and I couldn't imagine that. Like I always thought like you wouldn't want to lose any of your senses, but I always thought I would hate to lose hearing or vision. To me, like those would be the ones I couldn't imagine not having. But yeah, the tension that's induced in these films just without having that sense, and I love what the films do with that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like Mika and I had highlighted both films start off really making that stark difference in
Mhm,
terms of you and Hush, for example, she's cooking and you hear the sounds that we're so used to hearing, like the sizzling, the chopping, the
mhm,
preparation of the food, and then it just turns itself down. The dial goes
mhm,
quiet so that what we hear she's not hearing at all,
mhm,
understandably, right? And just that's her normal. And then in Midnight, the same thing. I thought that was so unique. It started with her working in this really hectic call center, of
mhm,
course, like heightened in terms of everybody on the phone, everybody answering calls. And then it turns down the sound in the world of which she lives. She's not hearing
mhm,
any of that, but still
mhm,
communicating to individuals who are deaf at the call center where she works. It was
mhm.
really cool how they did that.
Yeah, and it was so interesting, like you mentioned in both settings. Like you said, in Midnight, we see our female protagonist. Like you said, she's out and about in the hustle and the bustle, and how she deals with people who really aren't mindful of dealing with someone who has a disability or a communication access concern. They're just so oblivious. Like I think the main thing that me and Kira was so frustrated about in this film is just even in the workplace, not really trying to learn her language. Also later in the film when we're dealing with like police, no one is trying to get an interpreter to kind of access language for her to use, so it's really very frustrating in the film. And I can imagine because in my job, like as it says, I'm a social worker, and part of my caseload I'm dealing with individuals who are deaf, and just some of the things that people go through in terms of not having that access to communication, and people really being oblivious to it. So it was kind of interesting to see that dynamic in her world. And then Hush is the total opposite because she's so isolated. It's just her, but again, what her environment encompasses by losing that sense.
Oh yeah, I will agree. In Midnight, the majority of the people, both her mother and she encountered, were not person censored. I think
Mhm,
some tried to do the best they can, but you saw like the barriers more pronounced in Midnight in terms of the navigating this night and their interaction with this killer and the people who should have provided support or help. It
mhm,
was just a hot mess. I think that was a majority of me like feeling frustrated and annoyed in terms of watching that film. You just felt their
mhm,
plight because it was just a conscious effort, even more so, to communicate everything that they were witnessing, bearing witness to. And thankfully, I am glad that the main character in Midnight had her mother. Like,
mhm,
Amika and I made a correlation with regards to their communication. Kind of helped them initially
mhm,
to be able to kind of have conversations between the two of them that worked towards their benefit despite other people not understanding what they were saying. With the
mhm,
killer in particular, it was good that they had the ability to communicate things that would be unknown to him just because he didn't know sign language or understood what they were
mhm,
saying.
mhm. And Corey said, just watched Midnight last year for the first time when I hung out with Tyrone and Jaleesa. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I stumbled upon that one as well too. I don't know. I just came up one day. I forget where I watched it, but I just stumbled across it, and it just had me on the edge of my seat. Oh, and
Oh,
Annette, hi
definitely.
Annette, how are
Internet.
you?
Hi. Good to see you here. Thanks. Always love Nanette. So nice.
Mhm.
Oh
Oh,
yes, and then again, just the protagonist piece. Love that we have
mhm,
two females again.
mhm. Okay, and we talked a little bit about this, but the play on sound, I love, like we said, it was done so well in the films. I love how we, from the villain or the killer's perspective, we're able to hear the sounds. Or in Midnight, like when you interact with other people, you hear the sounds. But when it comes to our main leads, when the sound goes away, and at the times they choose to have the sound goes away, I think it causes the tension to heighten, more severely. I think it's done really, really well. And again, in terms of the sensory perception, it kind of puts you in that atmosphere, I think, as well as the individual.
Oh, well, definitely. I think like if you look at both films, the way because they have to have you understand what the reality is for both characters in each
Hmm.
film.
Hmm.
And again, it heightens for us watching it, right? Because we can hear, but what it does a really good job at is showing you what it's like to navigate the world when our hearing is turned off. So what I mean by that is like in Midnight, just like being able to have these tools in place that allowed her character to know when there was vibration and when there was movement and
Hmm.
how critical and essential that was. Same thing for Hush, like the main character there. She had these really loud alarms that went off, and
Hmm.
the friend who came to visit had said, "Oh wow, like this is so loud," and she said, "Oh, I have to have it that loud so it vibrates so she
Hmm.
can hear it when she wakes up, and then it blinks so that she can see it."
Hmm.
In Midnight, the sound to me was a little bit more dangerous. Hush, I mean, please, she was fighting for her life. But what I mean about Midnight is the city was its own
Yeah.
backdrop that she was navigating, and just thinking about how scary it is. I mean, I'm thinking about that parking garage scene. Like me,
Oh
I was.
yeah.
There's a scene in Midnight where she's running from this killer and she's trying to open this door, and we hear it is making so much noise,
Oh yeah.
and the killer hears it, and like she has no idea how loud this door is, right? Because she
Hmm.
can't hear it, but she's intent on opening it because that is her point of egress,
Escape.
exit to get
Yeah.
out. But those things were just like so like oh fear provoking in me. And when her opening her car, I
Hmm.
just was like, oh my god, like everything was making noise. And we would automatically think like, oh, be quiet. Oh my gosh, you're gonna let people know where you are. You're not supposed to. But again, it's
Yeah,
like
if you
the
can't hear it, you're just in that mode of flight. Like I gotta get away.
right.
We have
Oh,
some.
Nanette, Hush was
Oh,
2016.
okay. Yeah, I was just gonna go to that.
Oh,
We have
thank
some
you, Corey.
comments. Corey said, I think it adds a lot of suspense when you can see what is going on, but the character doesn't know what is happening in some situations. Yeah,
Agreed.
because yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, you can see, but the thing of not hearing, like you don't know if the person's behind you, if you don't know, and especially at midnight running, you don't know if anyone's running up towards you. That's really scary not to be able to hear.
Oh yeah, Hush, the perfect scenes timed were like look at the image on the screen, both films.
Oh.
Those two scenes in those films were jarring, all right,
Hmm.
because again, we have our main characters unaware, right,
Hmm.
in terms of the danger that's so close to them.
Yeah, right
And it
behind
just
you.
yeah, right behind them. And then in Midnight, it was very jarring because there was. Can I say one thing though? The one thing this film told me is that both films you have to be in shape.
You need cardio.
You need cardio. I'm going back to the rules of Zombieland. Cardio is your friend because I would have probably been killed. For sure, I would have been killed at midnight
Oh
because
yeah.
that killer, he must have been a track star. That's all I'm gonna say. The way this man was running after this woman throughout the entire night.
I
Oh my
know.
god, I wouldn't have made it just for that fact. And mind you, I told Mika I'm gonna be on a stepper. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be walking
But
because there is no
Kara,
way.
I would think though, if you're running from your life, I would think if you got a jolt of adrenaline, I think that would just make you. I think you could get away. I just think maybe that
You know what it is?
adrenaline.
I think when your life is at risk, yes, you are going to
Hopefully.
hopefully do what you need to do and boots on the ground, you run in. What I'm saying is I'm gonna run. Can I outrun that man?
Oh, I don't know. He
I
was doing. He was.
he was if anyone has seen Midnight, watch that film and tell me if you would be able to outrun him. I mean, that's like I'm gonna have to really, really be a track star, cross country, be a
Oh,
sprint. It was
oh yeah.
intense.
We have some comments. Patrick is here. Hi, Patrick. How are you?
Patrick.
Okay, and Akira, I think you answered this for Nanette, right? You gave her a
Yeah,
year.
2016. Corey did
Oh,
too.
Corey did too. I see that. Awesome. Cardio's Corey said rule number one, cardio. Yes.
100%.
Nanette said there are 3 Hush movies and 2 of them I haven't seen. I really want to see these 2 movies, so that's why I'm asking. I have not seen either one of them. Oh, I think the only
Oh,
other one I saw was that wasn't there one with Gwyneth Paltrow?
Gwyneth Paltrow, yes.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's been so long, I don't really remember it though.
Oh, I remember that one. That was actually a good twist.
Oh, you remember it?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah, Mickey don't remember that just because of the
No.
twist. I remember that. Oh
Uh-uh.
wow, girl. Oh, okay.
And then Patrick said rule number 1, own a cheetah. Yes.
Yep. Literally. Literally.
And then Net said, I don't need to see the movie. I know it came out running the track star rule number 1. Yeah, cardio. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
100%.
Gotta get the cardio on. Yeah.
Oh
Is there
yeah.
anything else you want to say about sound or how it's used in the film?
Well, one thing that I thought was unique too was it really did impact their ability to respond in what we might think is the a normal way to respond. What I mean by that is Hush, for example, there were moments where she thought about like leaving, like running, or like she did attempt to run, and it just showed like how scary it is to be in a situation where you can't hear, and she's trying to anticipate where this person is, like
Mhm.
his movements. I thought it was so clever how she used the car alarm
Oh yeah.
whenever in such a way to kind of draw him near. And so again, I'm going to create sounds. It's going to make noise. Even though I can't hear it, he's going to hear it. He's going to be drawn to it. And that gives me a break to do A, B, C, or D. So I
Mhm.
think they had to think more. They had to be more clever with regards to how they maneuvered things just because they didn't hear it. And
Mhm.
even at midnight, you saw how there were scenes where just oncoming traffic, she couldn't hear that, right? So she's
Mhm.
running for her life into away from danger, into another form of danger, right? And so it's just
Mhm.
one of those things we take for granted. It was a scene with her mother walking to the car without giving too much away, and
Hmm.
just what we would hear, and we'd be looking around. Her mother wasn't able to hear this, so it just was I thought it was interesting how one's response in terms of how they normally would react, you'd have to pause firstly because you'd have to think about it a little bit more thoughtfully.
Mhm. Mhm. And that kind of tied into another theme that I wanted to tie into, and that was I'm kind of moving around, but with the survival, because I think what our killers initially thought is when they determined that both our female protagonists were deaf and couldn't hear, was that they would be easy targets. And definitely, if you've seen both of either of these films, you know that just because someone has a disability, don't count them out, because again, yeah, you don't have one sense, but the others are heightened. And I love that both films focused on this. That the fighting back, they used intelligence, they used courage, like you said, they used ways to outmaneuver the killer. I think that was a really well done to show that just because I have this, which you quote as a weakness, doesn't mean that you're vulnerable.
Oh, agreed, agreed. And I do find that again, both our characters were completely s- horrified, very scared initially. Who wouldn't be in terms of
Oh yeah.
presented with these two psychopaths? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
who just out of nowhere just show up
Oh
out
my
of nowhere.
gosh. Oh my gosh, right? And, what I will say is I do like there are moments there's, 2 moments, because 2 films, in each film where, like, the main characters are like, "Okay, it's over now. Now you pissed me off to a point where, like, okay, I'm literally flipping a switch now, and I'm intent on surviving."
Mhm.
Even watching this, I told Mika, like, in Midnight, for example, this killer has pissed me off so bad, I'm gonna survive just so I can like tear you up. That's how angry you making me. And then Hush, just that I found like his name is just Man, like he doesn't even have a name in this film. Maddie's character, like just the antagonizing. I said, okay, okay, I'm gonna play you at your own game. But I agree. I think that both were considered vulnerable to those like the perception for each killer. But they definitely had the upper hand with regards to how they navigated things.
Mhm. I just want to get to some comments. So Nanette said, I can't do cardio. I have fibromyalgia and I have asthma. Give me the way a normal way to respond, never to be able to do running. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well, Nanette, I trust that. Like Mika said, I think we never know how we're going to respond until we're in a situation, right? We'll be
Mhm.
fight, flight, or freeze. But what
Mhm.
I will say, Nanette, I like to think that if we were threatened, we do the very best we can to
Mhm.
survive.
Mhm.
Um, when we say cardio, it's like a really funny, sarcastic thing in the sense of if you see Midnight, is just this killer already had an upper hand because even though we don't know much about his background,
Oh
you
yeah.
know he's physically in shape in order
Mhm,
to be able to overpower and take these people out.
mhm,
And just the scenes they do with him running, it was sheer like, oh, this is a person intent on taking out his prey.
mhm.
I think someone said cheetah. That's the perfect example of what he was
Oh
in
yeah.
human form. And so for me, I'm not a runner by any means. I used to do cross country. I
I
haven't ran
know. Don't
in
ask us to
years
do them.
now.
Yeah.
And so even though I probably could run, I definitely would not be able to outrun that him. And I'm gonna put money on that. In my current state, no ma'am. But I
Mhm.
get that. I like to think that we'd make it work with whatever we have at our
Yeah, disposal.
disposal.
Yeah, yeah.
Frying
Corey.
pan, laptop case,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep. Corey said in Midnight, I thought it was interesting with the lights that activate with sound in her plays. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and Hush
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, Hush too. That's done really well, and we know, like I said, and me, we're working with the deaf community. We know there's such unique assistive technology available that they can use just in your own environment to give you that access to sound, like someone ringing your doorbell and the lights flashing.
Bed
Uh,
knockers.
Bed knockers, like if there's a fire that shake the bed to alert you, vibrations in the atmosphere. There's things there to show you. It's just really, really the technology that they have is amazing. Nanette said number one rule: own a protective pet. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 100%. And then that our cats will probably not do anything.
Well,
I
cat,
like to think so.
you never know. The cats can surprise you.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Let me
You
not
never
say that.
know.
They might have your back, but Nanette is right. If you have a one of our cousins has a cane corso, nobody messing with her.
Oh yeah,
I'll just
no,
put it out there. She's
yeah.
definitely protected.
And Corey said, yes, both villains got very bold when they thought they had the big upper hand. Yeah, it's again like when you think you have the upper hand over a victim. And then Patrick said, especially when the victims are blind. Yeah, because me and Kara were actually talking about Patrick. I don't know if you saw the film with Audrey Hepburn, Wait Until Dark. But in that film, like she has her hearing, but she doesn't have her vision. And that's another home invasion film where I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh
you can't
yeah.
see.
And when you're talking about Blink with Madeline Stowe is a
Oh
film where she was
yes, that's another
blind
one. Mhm.
when
Well,
a crime was committed.
Semi blonde, yeah, because
Well,
she.
yeah, she was yeah, and then she has a surgery. Yeah, you're right, Mika, where she regains sight. But
Mhm.
it's just interesting when it's flipped. They could hear, but they couldn't see.
Yeah. And then Nanette said my dog would be he's very protective. Okay,
Oh,
great.
love that, Nanette. That's
And Patrick
great.
said, oh, cats can see they can if they want to.
Definitely, definitely.
Mhm.
Oh, one thing that I thought was interesting with both films too is how they use alternate forms of technology. So in Midnight, her cell phone, like she
Oh
was able to
yeah.
communicate with people with her phone. And then in Hush, she was utilizing to the best of her ability her laptop. Like you saw
Mhm.
how essential that was a lifeline to her in terms of communication, but even
Mhm.
trying to utilize it when the intruder was there and she was trying to outreach like emergency services or someone for assistance.
Yes, yes. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, and Patrick said he loves Wait Until Dark. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, that is a good film.
Okay, anything else you want to add on Survival?
Oh, just like they weren't self-defeated. I think that
Mhm.
the really good thing about both can I say in Midnight's though, like shout out to her mother though, you guys.
Oh, I actually got let me see.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can find.
the dynamic of the main character and her mother, like it was a dual role in my opinion. These two
Yes.
together, wow. When I say her mother was playing no games,
Mhm.
regards to her child, and she was so quick in terms of picking up on things and and again think about that, perhaps there's something to a loss of a sense and heightening my senses and awareness of other things, so she
Mhm.
was able to sense that this person was not who he was saying he was just based off his mannerisms. There
Mhm.
was a scene where she said, oh, he keeps staring at me the way he looks at me. It was
Mhm.
just like in tune to this
Yeah, she's
person
very, very
without
hyper
knowing what's going
vigilant
on.
and
Yeah.
hyper aware of her environment. But yeah,
Mhm.
and like mom, she was a rah da. She was making sure that her daughter, and I love their dynamics. They were just each other's protectors, just looking
Yeah,
out for
best
them.
friends.
Yeah, I love their relationship in the film. That is so, it was so beautiful.
Oh, and this Mika will tell you the midnight was giving me heart palpitations. Like so many times, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I just did not know. Like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to the mother? What's gonna happen to the daughter? It was just too much for me,
Mm-hmm.
in a good way. But Mika knows, like, I can't stand the films where it's not giving me any time to breathe. There's no
Oh
real
yeah,
let up.
yeah. And in
And
both
Hush,
in both films, yeah, in both
yeah.
films do that so well. We classified it as the cat and mouse. Because that's literally where it was such on your edge of the seat. Both films, like I said, in Hush, we have our main characters trapped in a home, isolated in the middle of the woods, in a place that you should be feeling protected because it's your sanctuary, it's your home, and you have this crazy lunatic outside. You don't even know where he is, and just that heightened fear, being so scared in the one place you're supposed to feel the most safe. And I
Oh, and
guess
you
you
know, oh
go ahead.
my god, you know one thing that really like bothered me in Hush, and I said, "Oh my god, that's my worst fear, a house in the middle of nowhere." But I said, "Oh my god, all this glass, like
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
because
needed a
Kira, what
solid
do we
wood door."
Kira, what do we always say is our number one thing when you move
Oh,
into
no
a
slaughter doors.
well, that's one. But also too, number two, Kira, the first thing you do when you move into a house, can you give me some what?
Oh, curtains.
Some
Oh my gosh, I know, oh
curtains.
my gosh. Yeah, but there was the doors for me. I need like a solid hard wood
Yeah, yeah.
door.
Yeah, that should be
Number
that
1, cardio. Number 2, solid doors, please.
no
Less
slide.
less glass.
We gotta actually do an episode of that, Kira. Our survival rules, because we got so many like the no slotted doors, the no. Ugh, it's just crazy.
Much, yeah. Because I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh, and the net said, the Hush movie I've seen stars, yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jessica. Yep, that's the one I'm thinking about, which I don't remember at all, but Kira
I
does.
remember that one. Oh my goodness, Mika, really? Like, I
I know,
totally remember that
I
one.
know, I
I'm
saw
not
it.
gonna give it away because it does a nice little twist.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't remember that, but yeah, but I know I saw it.
Oh my god, I love when you watch movies like, "Oh yeah, I did see that." And you're like, "Oh, what happened?" I do not remember, but I did see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah.
And we were touching on the isolation. One thing I noticed in the film, because even though in Hush, our character Maddie in that film, like we said, she's isolated because of the setting. But in Midnight, even though she's in the city in some scenes where they're interacting with a lot of people, I also felt really isolated. I felt that isolation in terms of them not communicating and just people being so apathetic, like that whole bystander effect, like when there's a crisis and not really helping or being aware.
Oh, no, I agree. What I will say about Midnight is for the majority of the film, the characters are mainly isolated. Like, I find, like, not until the latter part of the film do they
Yeah, like yeah.
find themselves, like, in a heavily populated place where you think that would warrant more safety, but again, like Mika said, it's, people in public who, because of her inability to communicate and their inability to be patient and try to understand, like, the gravity of what's going on, the danger is still quite imminent. But I feel like in Midnight, like most, and maybe because it was midnight, me and Mika made the correlation that there was nobody out at night for the majority of this
I
film.
know.
There were
I was like, yo.
dark walkways and paths and streetways that they were occupying themselves on, and just some of these running scenes where she's running and he's after her. Like you saw nobody.
I
Like there was like
know.
nobody there, so it was just like the cloak of darkness. Like this man was pursuing her. And
Mhm.
Hush is interesting, yes, because she is living in a cabin in the middle of the woods in an isolated setting. I wish we had sometimes because we don't have backstory. Does she feel safe in that environment? Clearly, because she's
Yeah.
living there, and like that sense of safety has now been threatened.
Mhm.
Is how I looked at Hush. Like, there was little innuendos in terms of why she's living out there. Like, I know
Mhm.
he got her phone, I believe, or saw some type of messaging.
Mhm.
Um, where like I don't know, I forget who it was that was asking her like they didn't want her to live out there, they wanted her to consider moving in with them.
Oh, I think
uh,
I know in the early part of the film, I think her sister's checking in on her, and
Someone I can't
yeah,
I've
it's her
lost all this
sister.
that
Yeah, I think it
quickly,
was her
yeah.
sister, and kind of checking in on her and asking her why. She's basically being an introvert. But I did like in Hush, though, even though she is isolated, there is, some friends, some neighbors who we know are nearby. So she does have some interaction, with people who are familiar with her. And then I think at midnight, like you said, just the apathy of some of the individuals. There's even one scene when they're in a police station, a place where you feel you should be safe, and that was just
That
crazy
scene was
too.
ridiculous because I was like, I know you lying. Like that scene was so ridiculous. I said, where are the police? Let's just say that that was maybe culturally that's how it's set up. I don't know, but my goodness, that was
I,
hilarious to me, just based off of like, where are the police? I mean, they're there, but they're not where they need to be.
when you need them, yeah. Nanette said my grandma is a big fan of Jessica Lange, and that's why I seen it. Bought it on VHS when it came out. Oh yeah, we love
Oh, we
Jessica Lange,
stand Jessica
the
Lange.
queen.
Respect.
Respect, love her, legend, love her down.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh my god, on the net, if you ever get a chance to watch the TV series Damages, ooh. Oh no. Wait a
No, that's
minute.
Glenn Close.
Sorry,
Oh,
that's
I know
Glenn
what you was
Close.
talking about because we was just watching Damages with Glenn Close, but American Horror Story.
Thank you, Mika. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the
Just
only
just
draw
the
for me is
seasons where
Jessica
she was
Lange.
just the seasons that Jessica Lange was on. Yeah.
And then any film, my goodness, like
Oh,
go back as well. The Postman Rings Twice. Like, oh
yeah,
come on.
we should do when we start our Actor Spotlight series, she would be a good one to start off with.
Oh, I love that. Oh, let us know, guys. Would you love us to do that? Me and Mika were thinking about doing a spotlight series where every month we highlight an actor, actress, and kind of
And just
just talk
go
about their
through,
bodies of work.
yeah, and you probably narrowed it down to our favorite. What would we think? Maybe favorite 5 films from that.
Oh yeah, that'll be tough though.
That'd
I
be
think we could
tough.
do that. I
We
think
can do
top
that.
5 is like good to do because it forces you to really dive into their body of work and only draw the top 5. Ooh, that's
Be
hard depending on the
cutthroat.
actor.
Yeah, we could be cutthroat, or we could even do 3.
Ooh, we should do 3. Ooh,
3. Yeah,
I
3.
like that. That's a good idea. 3. Ooh,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
love
ooh,
that.
let's do, yeah, we should work on that.
Ooh, I love that.
We'll be cutthroat. The net said, yes, I love Jessica Lange and American Horror Story.
Only reason why I watched it.
Yeah, and I feel like it haven't been the same since she left. Okay, I'm trying to think, is there any other themes for these movies that we want to highlight?
Not that I can think of. I think that ideally we kind of hit on the central ones for these films. What I will say is reasons for me to watch both is two strong female leads, firstly. Second for me is highlighting strong women in vulnerable situations. But what I want to highlight is that I love that they actually focused on deaf characters, right?
Mhm.
So it was a unique twist to something we've seen before. What I mean by that is, of course, there are home invasion movies. Of course, there are movies in terms of a serial killer pursuing someone. I think that the twist they did in terms of having both characters be deaf and unable to hear just heightened the gravity of both
Yeah.
films
And
in a
and
different
I'll
way.
and I'll add to that to say that's another reason why you should watch, because I love how you take something like that people consider a disability and you see it as a kind of a superpower, you know what I mean? Or kind of um something that you think is a detriment to that individual. You would call them a victim, but they use it to their advantage.
Oh yeah, agreed, definitely.
Oh wait,
And
hold on.
I didn't see any of the characters as being disabled. Like that was never anything that was on my radar.
Oh
So I
no,
love
no.
that. Like it was just individuals navigating the world um the way they have to navigate.
From their own experience, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and I like that too, because I always, me and you know, we never look at any individual as saying they have a disability, but that's how society
Oh,
labels
agreed. Yeah.
individuals,
Yeah.
and we see that a lot in Midnight. Someone, because they deem someone different, they think something is wrong with that person. We've seen scenes in the films where they kind of make fun of that person, not realizing that, you yourself look like the idiot. It's not that individual. And just because someone is different doesn't mean that there's a weakness to it or something is wrong with that individual.
Yeah, what I will say is the difference between the two that I just kind of thought of is in Midnight. The main character was very intent on navigating the world, even if it was in an environment where people weren't trying to make sure she was included. Like she was
Yeah.
intent about, like, even I'm thinking about like for work. Like
Mhm.
there was a scene where they were clearly having a meeting. Everyone can hear what's going on in this meeting with the exception of her. And one person was trying to explain to her, like a coworker, what was going on. And I'm just like, oh wow, just the lack of awareness in terms of
Yep.
having an interpreter or someone there. And then even her being intent on, hey, I'm an employee here, I have the same rights, I want to be invited into like this work dinner. And
Mhm.
then still choosing to go, even though they made no attempt to communicate with her, have an interpreter there. And I love
Mhm.
how she
Yeah, makes fun
kind
of
of
her.
insult, well, not, she did insult
She
them
did.
all without their knowledge, right? So they were insulting her, but she played the game equally, insulting
Mhm.
them
Mhm.
without them having any idea. So I love that she was very intent on, I'm still living in this world despite kind of these things, which is still kind of hard and harsh. I can't imagine. And then in Hush, um, a key point too was she was someone who did have her sound for many years. I think they said up until the age of
Oh,
13
yeah, that's right.
when
Yep.
she got sick, and so her character understood what it was to hear and probably had to grieve the loss of
Yeah, I
losing her
couldn't imagine
hearing.
that. Yeah, I
So
couldn't
yeah,
imagine.
and then again adapting, and there could be a piece to because that's something she did experience, retreating now based off of going from someone who's hearing to
Oh.
not being able to hear, and maybe her interactions with the world around her. Um,
Ooh. See, Kira, I like that interpretation too, and that could be a reason why she's choosing to live such an introverted life.
oh
I
yeah, just making
yeah.
assumptions here. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. We have some, comments. Nanette said, "I would love it if you did s" okay, Spotlight. She liked that idea, Kira,
Oh,
Spotlight, an
great.
active Spotlight.
Nice.
Okay, and
Nice.
Patrick said, "What about Copland?" I love that movie. Did you see that with Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, I have not seen that. You told me to watch that. I
Yeah,
know
that
you've
is
seen it, on
so
my list.
good. Yes, and Patrick's right. Yep, he's partially deaf, and that movie was I liked Sylvester Stallone in that role. It was a
I have
different
to
role
watch
for
that one.
him.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay, I'll get
so
on
he's
that.
like this. I guess you would kind of say I don't know, like sheriff. It's like the small town police. Well, it's not really a town, but it's I think it's across from New York. But yeah, it's just this corruption going on, and it's good. I love it.
Oh, well, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Corey. Make sure to hit the like button.
Oh, thank you, Corey.
Oh yeah, Patrick had to overcome the deafness to stop some corrupt cops. Yeah. And I love it. And I love it. It's like he goes against the blue, even though he's a fellow officer. This is done really, really well.
Okay, I have to watch that one.
Oh, and Annette said, I'm partially deaf, and you are right about having more heightened other senses. Oh,
Oh, wow,
ooh,
Nanette, thank you for sharing that. And
sharing
see, look at
that.
that. Yeah, she like can confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
Your other senses are heightened just as a result of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And another thing I would say, if you love thrillers, if you can, I put Hush. I also put this in a horror category too. So if you like
Oh, it's
thrill,
horrifying. Oh my
yeah,
God, how is it not horror, baby? That was just
yeah.
horrifying to me.
If you love thrillers, that cat and mouse type of movies, horror elements, then definitely recommend these as well.
What I will say is like between the two, I rate them very high, but Hush for me is like very scary. It's a more evenly paced type of cat and mouse
Oh
film where
yes, yeah,
if that makes sense. I feel like Midnight was like nonstop. I was like, oh my God, like I just need
yeah,
a break. I need a break in between these things.
yeah. Hush, yeah. I get what you said with them too, because Hush did have those like
It
jump
gave
in
me
moments, but
and it
it is
gave me
kind
some
of
kind of breaks in between,
yeah,
like her going in her room, like sitting in a corner. Like there was a little bit of like reprieve, even though it was short lived. Midnight was like, let me catch my breath and oh, I gotta run again.
so true, so true. Um, oh my god, have you guys,
Oh,
Kira?
loved Copycat.
Oh my
Sigourney
god,
Weaver, Holly Hunter. Oh yes.
Nanette, I'm actually sitting in our movie room in our house,
The movie
and
posters is
the movie
Copycat.
poster, the huge movie poster right in front of me on the wall, one of those is Copycat. That's how much we love this film. So,
Come
yes,
on.
so good.
And
So good.
available on Netflix now, you guys.
Woo!
You can stream it on Netflix. I saw that when I went in this weekend on Netflix, Copycat. I said, oh, nice.
Yes,
We
and
have
it's
the
sitting
film, but
it's put right next to our Aliens poster.
Alien. Come on,
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, so that's how much we love it, Nanette.
Another film about a serial killer, a copycat serial killer.
Yes. Oh,
He's copycatting all of the,
hi, thanks
well, I
for
don't wanna
stopping
say great,
by.
but
I don't know
hi.
if that's Sam, but hi, Sam.
Hello,
Or if it's both
hello.
of you, I don't know. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so any other reasons why people should watch this, Carol, or do you think we hit it
Oh,
all?
I think it's self-explanatory. I think we hit it all. But I will say to people who are just joining us, glad to see you here. And if we're about to wrap up, but of course, please watch the replay. You know, Mika
Mhm.
and I are all about here for a good time, not a long time. We just want to highlight two films, my pick, Mika's pick. Similar theme, just discuss some similarities, our thoughts, and then hopefully have you guys walk away watching them if you haven't seen them or rewatching them.
Oh, yes, and like we said, this is a great double feature if you wanna do a movie night where you wanna be on the edge of your seat, you wanna be scared, you just want some excitement and something different. Like Kira said, these are good takes, good twists on a home invasion, for Hush, and also Midnight, taking it to the streets, literally.
Oh,
You
you
know.
know what's so cool about Midnight though? There is a piece where like you get a little bit of the home piece. Like I'll throw that
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah, you do, and again,
He's
showing
all around. He's following her all around the
I
city.
tell you. And again, these movies are showing that our sanctuaries, jeez, I mean, those aren't even safe. Jesus, you know?
You know, because one thing that I will highlight, and I think Corey said this too, both individuals, when you are in their home, because they know it's the blueprint, this is their
Oh,
sanctuaries.
yeah.
The things that they have set up in their homes is what alerts them to the danger. And so
Oh,
I
that's
said, "Oh
true. Yep.
wow." I'm even thinking of Hachowski that hears sounds.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then Midnight, I said, "Oh, wow," like, the little things that you would take for granted, like, she's so observant of it because she knows that that shouldn't be moving
Uh-huh.
unless there's movement in here,
Mhm.
and just the breath work, like, even,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
knowing when people are behind you, like, I don't
Behind
hear
you,
you
yep.
as simple speaking and just the breath on my neck. There's little things where you're like, "Oh, wow, that
Uh-huh.
is what's alerting me to, like, some presence, something there that shouldn't be."
Yeah, they're done so well. And just what I said with these killers, I mean, I always like to know there's a purpose for people doing things, but I guess these two, we just they just doing it for fun. You know what I mean?
They
Just being
they
sadistic to
they
be
go on.
sadistic. Yeah,
And they make
but
you angry. I'm like, "Die, die."
yeah, like you said, Kira, we got to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm done running. If that was me, I'm turning around and
That
it's on.
that's it. Cause now
It's
I'm pissed.
on.
You made me run 15 blocks. I'm done. I'm done. I'm turning around and this is over. You hear me? It's
Cut the
over.
mic.
And Hush, I mean, you been shooting bows and arrows at me? It's
Arrows,
over. It's over.
girl, it's
You trying to
crazy.
take my cat out? It's done. We done.
Kira,
It's over.
Kira. Corey said, "I love the ending of Midnight. Not to give it away, but love the bit of a twist." Oh yes,
Oh, yes, yes,
we love a
clever.
twist. We love a
Love the
twist.
twist.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
All right, you guys. So again, we here for a good time, not a long time, you guys. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next Sunday at 7
I don't think
Eastern
we picked
time.
our film yet for next week, right?
No, we haven't, you guys. I know. We're thinking. I'm not sure what
Mhm.
we want to do, but that's the fun in this, you guys, in terms of picks.
Mhm.
Meek and I always are thinking in terms of, do you want to do a rom-com? Do you want to do a drama? Do you want to do a
Mhm.
foreign film? Oh,
Mhm.
we can go so many directions, and that's what we love about double features.
Oh yeah,
But we
just when you want to
look
have
at that.
that fun movie night, these are the two films you should throw on back to
Yeah, oh my
back.
god, we should do animated films. Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh, that might be fun.
I don't ever
Yeah.
think about that. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we
We
will be
did.
back, you guys.
You know which one we were thinking about? We thought was really good, you guys. Like put pairing Heather's with Mean Girls.
Oh my god. I would love that. Do you guys wanna see that? Heathers,
I
Mean
think that
Girls?
would be fun. I
That
think
would
that
be
would be
so
fun.
funny. I want
Yeah.
my pink shirt back. The lines in that. Oh my god, we gotta do that just to go over our lines. Like, you
Oh,
give me your top 3 lines, Imma give you my top 3 lines.
oh yeah, because those are so quotable. Yeah,
So quotable.
that would be a
Okay, we
fun
might have
one.
to do that. We might have to do Heathers and Mean Girls this upcoming Sunday.
Oh yeah,
Keep it.
that would be fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Corey even saying Heathers and Mean Girls would be a fun matchup.
Oh
Done. That's
yeah.
what we're doing.
Just for the quotes.
I love it. Okay, you guys, this Sunday, upcoming Sunday, we are doing Heathers and Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
So be there. It'll be a good time.
Okay. And Corey said, thanks so much. Always fun hanging out. Thanks, Corey.
Corey.
And Patrick said, great show.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, so I want to say thanks to Patrick, Corey, Nanette, and Sam for stopping
Oh,
by,
yeah,
and
thank you
everyone else.
guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, check out the replay. So we're gonna wrap it up. Say bon voyage.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.